Hey, welcome to the best of everything. I am Ruben Paul, and across from me, hey, you guys, Johnny Sanchez.
Yeah, man. That's good enough.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
just good enough, man.
I think my name says it all.
I could probably add something in there to say it all.
It goes like that.
Yeah, I could probably add something to that.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that. I'm going to stay positive.
Let's stay positive.
I'm going to stay positive.
I can say some things about,
it's the holiday
name Ruben
season.
Paul.
It's a holiday season.
It's the holiday season. It's the holiday season.
Okay.
Hey, you have a favorite? Is
this what it's going to be like today?
I'm just curious. Do you have a favorite Christmas song? Or a holiday song?
I had to think about that. Off the top of my head, I can't think anything. I think I used to listen to, did the Temptations have a Christmas?
Almost everybody did.
I think the Temptations had that song, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I got some of those. Well, I had CDs somewhere, but I don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, but I mean.
Mine's Silent Night. There's something about that song.
It's a great song.
It makes me think of my
depending on
grandmother.
who's singing it.
Yeah, I like more of like a tradition. Yeah, I like if they do it just straight.
I don't know, man. It's holidays. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I enjoy the holidays, but it's a little tougher. Like when you start dealing with loss when it comes to holidays.
I had a feeling you were gonna.
It just changes it for you. Where
it's probably never quite the same, right?
It's never been the same.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. It just isn't the same. It's not that I don't enjoy it. Like I get depressed around the holidays, but I know some people do struggle with that during the holidays, especially when you just, lose somebody. Like Thanksgiving was weird without Diana because Thanksgiving was a big holiday and just her presence was so huge and she could cook and all these things. So not having her on Thanksgiving really stood out. And I just think about her daughter and the rest of their family being without her. So, so I'm not trying to bring everybody down, but
no. Well, we're going to talk about that and then food and then how we handle being, self-disciplined during the holidays as much as you can with eating. And I only had one, by the way, I only had one plate of, for Thanksgiving.
Oh, good for you.
And normally I'm more, I'll have leftovers and all that other stuff, but I just had one plate this time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I went in on Thanksgiving.
What do you mean you went in? Oh, you went.
I went in.
You went all in?
Yeah, I went all in because I haven't been eating bad at all.
So you get your binge.
I did my little binge. And then what was cool is after the binge is like, now I know why I don't eat like this.
Yes.
Like I don't, then you start thinking, man, I can't believe I used to eat like this. Kind of on a
regular basis,
you know what I mean? But I think for like Christmas is not a big much of a big eating holiday. Well, I mean, people do throw down, but I don't know.
But Mexicans have tamales though.
Here's what I don't like about Christmas, even more so now, is it's really become about buying gifts.
Yeah,
and I think that's just dangerous. A lot of people go into debt.
I know.
During Christmas time.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
And then they start their year off
in debt.
With all these bills, man.
And it's supposed to be about, spending time with the people you care about and being grateful and thankful for what you have because, we've lost loved ones. So you appreciate the people in your lives and, everyone's off work. It should be a joyous time, a relaxing time, not a stressful time. I have to get this, I have to get that. And I was really proud of my niece.
Man, it is stressful. Yeah.
During the holiday because, her daughter, jumps on my lap and she was like, I was like, what do you want for Christmas? I can't remember if I asked her or she just started telling me. And then she was like, She's like, what did I tell you about Christmas? She goes, it's about family and not gifts. But in her head she's like, why can't it be about gifts? But every commercial, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, constant discounts, et cetera, man, people go out. I mean, people camp out to buy gifts, man. And people are buying things that they can't afford. And that to me, I don't know. Do you think it's more so now than it's ever been? I kind of feel like that. Like it's gotten worse as time has gone on.
Yeah, it's worse every year, and I feel like like you said, advertising is always, get this deal, get that deal, and it mounts up. Now, I don't personally have a problem with getting like a lot of small, little, inexpensive toys. Mm-hmm. That I don't have a problem with because it's the joy, the fun of unwrapping or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's already saying she wants that American Girl doll, whatever. And those things are $100. And I know Jennifer's like, my ex-wife is like, well, we can split it, which is okay, 50%. But still, it's just one gift. Like I feel like a lot of small ones.
Yeah.
And you spend not that much. You can get away with it. She's 8, man. Like she only needs X amount of things.
It's just hard because when something is quote unquote like an American tradition, kids are influenced by other kids, and it's like, "What'd you get for Christmas?" My dad just got me a doll. And it's sad that we take those things into consideration. We're like, well, I don't want to be left out with all the kids and everybody think that she's poor or this and that. But I have friends also, which I think is dope, who go and feed the homeless on Christmas, who take their kids and give gifts to homeless people. Like to me, that's dope. You know what I mean? Man. And it kind of teaches the kids early on that, hey, we're very blessed and fortunate to have what we have. We're going to give to other people who really don't have anything. Let this be about giving to people who don't have. Like I used to love when Shaq, I think he still does it, his Shaq-a-Claus, where he'd go to Toys R Us or whatever. Toys R Us is gone now, but whatever.
Yeah.
Toy store, and like buy a bunch of toys and just give them out, to kids in the community who couldn't have anything. People giving away turkeys. And I think that type of giving is great. But I don't know, man. We kind of grew up in that era of it was about gifts. I mean, my parents were limits. But
we didn't get a whole bunch of stuff. Although I know I told you this story, but I think when I think we may have talked about it last year, but that was when we weren't. I don't think we were here yet. Okay, but my favorite story is my dad growing up as kid. There were so many of them. At the time, I think there was 10 in the household because he comes from 13. But they only, of course, my grandmother's only going to give them one toy.
13 of them,
around there, So that the one year, he and his older brother, my Uncle Nick, they went to go stay with an aunt, and she gave them each a toothbrush. So when he came back after about a 2-week stay, all his brothers and sisters had that one toy, which was a big deal, whether it was a baseball or a doll for one of his sisters. He and my Uncle Nick came back with a toothbrush, dude. And it was something that you could just see, like he never forgot about that.
He never recovered from
that. It irritated him that she just couldn't go get some little cheap toy for the two of them. She wrapped them. Or something. She wrapped them.
And it probably wasn't even electric,
Oh, hell no, dude. This is like 1945, 1947,
I don't know. Did you, at any point in your life, did your parents sell you the myth of Santa Claus?
You mean sell me as in to convince me?
Like as a kid, like, some kids believe in the tooth fairy.
Yeah.
Or this. Did you ever, at one point, was it like, hey, look at what Santa got you?
Oh, of course.
Never.
Oh, they didn't do that?
Never.
They didn't let you have that, that magic? That
Santa Claus. Jesus give you those gifts.
Oh.
Yeah, Jesus gave me my gifts. It was Jesus. Never Santa Claus.
So they didn't buy it. They didn't. I wonder if they knew that all that originated to sort of a what's that term? The whole story of
the North Pole,
Christmas, and Kringle and all these things was from like some pagan thing way back. But who knows if they knew a little something about that.
I don't know if they knew that, but obviously my parents were really religious. But my parents, well, to be fair,
that's kind of neat though, because I've never actually heard that. To be honest with you.
Jesus gave us all the gifts, but my parents believe like any blessing that you get comes from God.
Right.
But with these gifts, it's like whether it be that, I remember I got a electric racetrack, man. I was happy, so excited.
I got one
Christmas.
too. I had one too,
yeah,
man.
dude. It was I had the glow in the dark.
I had the one with the lights, the headlights.
Yeah, well, and the track lit up. So you turn off all the light, dude.
Was it Tyco? Mine was Tyco.
I think it was Tyco.
I'm gonna take a picture for it.
Turn off all the lights in the kitchen, and I remember like it had to be maybe like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. My father getting up, but dude, the whole night, man, I'm in the kitchen, all the lights off, glowing in the dark. Isn't it amazing how you can keep a kid's attention for so long, and all it is a car going around in a circle, going through a loop.
Round and round and round, falling off every now and then. You put it back on.
I remember. I think my parents told me to go to bed, and then I acted like I went to bed, and then I went back downstairs. And I remember my father. I just, we had an upstairs and a downstairs, and I could hear my father's heavy foot come in, and hearing the door unlock, from his bedroom, like, Ruben, I tell you to go to bed. I will break that racing track. And I'm like, okay, I guess Christmas is over.
Oh.
But yeah, so they just always instill, like, it wasn't Santa Claus, it was God, Jesus, who,
interesting,
blessed us to be able to give you these gifts.
So let me I don't know why somehow that Tyco racetrack, out of all those toys I had growing up, are all gone. For some reason, I don't know why my mom never threw it out, but every time I'm back home and I'm in my old room, if I open the closet,
they're still in there.
The Tyco is right there on the shelf, and there's a bunch of boxes on top of it. I see it every single time.
Wow!
Still have the racetrack. I'm gonna take a photo of it when I go home, so I can show you. And what happened was my one of my cousins, his cousin, she wasn't related to me, but she came to visit. And she went to sit down on the bed. I guess I would move the racetrack on and off from my bed to the ground, I guess. And she went like that, and she broke the connection for the racetrack. And it didn't work. It never worked again. But it's still up there in the closet, Rube.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm pretty good.
It's funny. We almost had the same one. I had the headlights. You had the glow in the dark one.
Yeah. But it had headlights and.
Oh, it had that too.
Yeah, it had that too. It was a whole. It was for in the dark.
I don't think mine. I don't think it was a glow in the dark one.
And but here's the thing. One reason why I'm good at putting things together is because my parents were useless in helping you put anything together. So when they bought me something, I had to figure it out. Oh,
your dad wasn't doing
all the handy thing. No. It's like his attitude is, you want me to buy this and help you put it together?
Could he read English?
Oh,
because the manuals were in English most of the.
That's a good question.
Because he came over from.
I'd have to really think hard. My short answer is yes, because just thinking about my father, like reading the Bible and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think he had to. My father, I've talked about this before. My father had a 3rd grade education. Came to this country and did extremely well for himself, and his family, especially coming from Haiti. So, but he never quite grasped the English language. He never mastered it. That was one thing. I was his translator a lot of times.
Yeah.
When we went out. And we talked about that before, just never really thinking about how emasculating that must have been for him living in California, and how happy he was when he went to Florida. But kind of getting back to what we were talking about the eating, you only had one plate. It's tough during the holidays because of all the different, delicious food that you have.
Dude, the pumpkin pies, man.
Yeah. But interesting, like the new year, there's always an influx of gym memberships and everybody makes their resolutions. I'm going to get in shape and this and that. And all that thing is great. But at some point, I think we got to be careful in staying ahead of the curve and not putting yourself further back. And I think sometimes people's mentality is like, man, fuck it, I'm just going to go all in during the holidays, man. And then January 1st, man, I'm going clean. And I do get that in theory, but some people should be, careful of that, especially as you get older, because it's not as easy to take the weight off, and people are dealing with lots of health issues. So you got to really be cognizant of what you're putting into your body.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I heard this statistic a couple of years ago, but do you know, what's your guess where the drop off is with the exercising when they start on January 1st?
Probably doesn't even last 2 weeks.
No, most people will be good for the first 2 months.
Oh,
That's
really?
the average.
Oh, it's first
January, February, and then
March.
March.
Back to normal.
Most memberships start getting canceled in March, or they start, people not going.
Wow.
But they're usually, for the most part, the percentage is people are pretty gung ho for 2 months.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle change, and me and you have talked about this privately. Like, have lots of friends who've struggled with weight.
Yeah.
Now, thank God I've never been obese, but I have been overweight. For my liking, you know what I mean? And I think everybody,
sure.
Well, not everybody, but lots of people go through fluctuations of weight. Some people are fortunate that always, seem to remain slim. And just because you're slim doesn't necessarily mean that you're healthy. So ultimately it's about being healthy. But holidays are a very dangerous time because that's when people kind of give themselves permission to, like, what are the people, people have sayings like, put on the winter weight. It's the winter.
Right. Oh, yeah. Layers of clothes, by the way.
Clothes, winter's their favorite time. So they don't worry about, what they eat. They'll, worry about that
after.
Yeah.
But to me, that can create a cycle because now you're eating a lot consistently during the week of, each week's, not just the Christmas. People are eating. I mean, dude, you know what I did? Yeah, I was in Rite Aid.
Yeah.
And those little tin cans of cookies? Mm-hmm. They were 2 for $2. I bought 2 of them. And I ate some cookies yesterday, and I never do that.
Well, here's the thing. I think everything in moderation, dude.
Exactly. But there's people who cannot do it one day and then just
stop it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for some people, what happens is the holidays are here. They go, I'm going to take it off in the new year anyway. And then they start this cycle of eating a lot. And then what happens is come January, it's hard to break it because now their body is not even accepting all that food, but it's become a little bit of a habit already.
Here's the irony of this. And just remember this, like, my weight loss journey started December of last year.
Right. Mine started in around January when we started here because you had lost weight here. And then you were like, I said, send it to me. So it was January that I started, later January.
And I just remember thinking to myself, like, going through the mentality of, it's the holidays. I'm a pig out during the holidays. And then come January, like, what most people probably, how they probably approach it or view it. And then something just said, you've been doing that your whole life. You're really trying to accomplish something. Yeah. Start now. So once January starts, you already got like a running start and you've already developed good habits because everything is about developing good habits. What's the saying? If you do for something to become a habit, do it for 30 days and it becomes a habit. So I just remember making that commitment. I remember Christmas came and I had already started losing weight and then Christmas came and dude, I didn't go crazy at all and I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny when you start eating healthy and people start seeing results, they're curious, just like you were curious, but it's a natural thing. It's like, yo, man, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
what's going on?
What did you do to lose the weight, man? Yeah. And then you kind of realize there's certain things you don't miss. Like, dude, I remember my godmother, my friend's mom used to make the best sweet potato pies. So every Thanksgiving, I would kill at least one sweet potato pie, like the whole
by yourself,
by myself.
Oh, absolutely,
at least one pie.
Yeah.
What's that? 6 slices, 8 slices,
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how you cut them. It could be 4 if
you. And we've lost friends to obesity.
Right.
We're talking about Ralphie May earlier.
Yeah, Ralphie May.
Who struggled. And lots of people struggled, and it's just tough sometimes to see people that you care about go through these issues because a lot of times people don't look at food how they look at somebody being an alcoholic or look at somebody being a drug addict or
prescription pills
or anything. So it looks like it's easy to say, oh man, just stop eating, or whatever it is. But here's the thing: we all know, because eating is something everybody has to do.
You got to do it.
And food a lot of times is delicious because it's one of those things that when you eat for taste.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're telling, if you really think about it, you're telling somebody who's struggling with food to stop doing something that makes them feel good and that actually tastes good.
Yeah.
And everybody's doing it around you. At least sometimes you can be out and there's people who don't drink, so you can look and go, oh, you don't drink, man, I don't drink either.
Right.
But you never go, you don't eat, I don't eat either. You know what I mean? That's a new bit. Don't steal that. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You're just never like, oh, you don't eat, I don't eat either. Yeah. So you have that person to help you kind of, stick to the plan. Is tough, man. And I worry about some people in my life who I know struggle with food.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in your life that you can think of that's like, man?
Yeah. I mean, there's people I know that friends and relatives who struggle. And it's funny you bring up that 30-day thing. I think that's kind of my point. Like, Thanksgiving starts at the end of November, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that sometimes is the beginning of the bad eating.
Yes.
Because it's right after that, it's Christmas time, right? Mm-hmm. It's time to shop. And everything's out. Cakes, cookies, all the big meals. So sometimes that was my point. Some of these people are eating bad for 30 days. So it does become their habit.
That's a great point.
It does become their habit.
That's
and then come
point.
January, they're like, next week. You know what I mean? Because now they're in the habit of eating bad again, eating bad because of the holidays.
What's the famous line? I have a running joke with my boy E. I think you've met E. He lives in Vegas and we grew up together.
See, I know B, D, T, G. I think there's even a BT.
There is a BT.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Shout out BT Kingsley.
Everything's letters with you. You're the
whatever.
Anyway, alphabet.
One thing that we used to always joke about is it's like, man, diet starts on Monday and it's Tuesday. You know what I mean? So you're gonna wait till the following Monday, and we convince ourselves like, man, I'm gonna get a clean start
on a Monday,
top of the week.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I'm not telling it.
Remember you and I used to have that thing where I would say, hey, listen, I don't do anything on Monday.
You got to give me credit. I kind of got you out of that.
You got me out of that thing.
But we both had that habit, man, where you kind of you develop these habits.
I hated Mondays so much that I was just like, Monday's going to be my day where I don't do anything.
And then you start thinking, wait a minute, man. I'm nowhere near where I want to be in life, and I'm literally taking a day off.
Yeah, to just
after, especially in this industry,
right.
Saturday and Sunday are days off. So you're only giving yourself four days a week to be successful at something.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of like snap out of it and go. It's kind of like like the joke that I have about my sister when I was consistently getting up late. And one day she just, and I was a comic and I had an excuse. I worked the night before. I work nights, blah, blah, this and that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm doing more than just comedy. I'm trying to accomplish other things. And there's only 24 hours in a day. And that's a lot of time to accomplish a lot of things. So when I'm on the phone with my sister, I'm half asleep. And she goes, you sleep? I go, yeah, I had a late night. And she was like, nigga, you too broke to be asleep. And that shit is funny. That joke kills. But it really resonated with me. Like, she's right.
Yeah, you were getting up at noon or 1 or something back
sometimes,
then.
Comics when you're a young comic, you know what I mean?
Comic.
We eat late, get up late.
We were staying up till like 3:30 because we would
3, 4 in the morning, you know what I mean? You're hanging out.
Go to the Denny's or a diner after and
go to Mel's, go to Denny's, go to Norm's, late night, on top of maybe drinking and stuff too.
Right.
Then you go home, you crash out, you wake up, and it's just a cycle.
Yeah.
And it's cool for some point, but at some point you got to go, okay, I'm not being this productive.
God, remember how short the days were?
Oh, days are so short.
You could not get anything done.
Yeah, you'd be like, yo, dude, what are you doing? Like, dude, I maybe have time to go work out, then I got a spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So.
And now as I don't know about you, but as I got older, I just naturally started waking up earlier.
Yeah.
So now I'm, even if I stay out late, I have a late night. I wake up at anywhere between 7 and 8. That's usually my consistent wake up time or whatever. And it's crazy how after a while you'll go, oh man, it's only gonna be noon.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Because they're waking up earlier.
Remember we were younger, used to laugh at old people for getting up so early. Like you look through your windows, like 4 a.m, you see that old couple walking down the street. Then as you get older, you go, hey man, they realize they don't have much time.
Oh, dude.
And they're trying to maximize their days, Yeah. I still don't really, I have a lot of friends now that go to bed early. Like sometimes I'll invite them out to Ruby Tuesday. Like, dude, I'm in bed by 10. Like, really? It's like, yeah, man, I got to get up in the morning and this and that. Even for me, even if I'm off and I'm not working, I'm still not going to bed until 1, 2 o'clock. That's why people text me so late or call me late, because chances are I'm going to be up, So I don't really get that. Am I getting enough sleep? I feel like I am getting enough sleep.
Yeah, but you're also, some of those people they're probably starting their job at 8. Mm-hmm. So they're getting up at 6:30, right?
Yeah, but sometimes I'm up by 8, dude.
Yeah, but they're at work at 8. That's getting up, eating, whatever they got to do, driving. So, it's funny too with that, what you were about to say, that whole thing with, hey, we're going to start on this day. We're going to start on Mondays, even though it's Tuesday. Well, I remember reading or hearing somebody say, they were like, you actually set yourself up more if you decide that you're going to stop. Your plan is to either stop or start something on January 1st. Say that actually is not good, because it's like, I have to stop on this day. And
unnecessary pressure or something?
Unnecessary pressure. You don't need to do it on January 1st.
Yeah.
And give yourself a date within that first week. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, dude, I remember Jennifer and I doing that with smoking.
Yeah.
We were like, well, let's do January 7th then. We quit smoking on January 7th.
Really?
That was it. And then from that point forward, anytime there was something in the new year, I would wait until in that first week, but I had stopped doing it on January 1st, because there's, like you said, there's this added pressure that it has to be this day. And now it has to be, because you know what people get in their head? It's the first day of the year and they're like, I'm only eating I'm whatever. And then what happens is all they think about is, I got to do this for the whole year.
Yeah.
Instead of just going, hey, I started on the 5th. I started on the 6th.
I think for me, I stopped the date thing, but there's just a saying that I use a lot, especially when I'm giving advice to friends, and it's been, people have given me the same advice with the phrase that, especially when I having conversations with people dealing with relationships, is at some point you have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah, right.
And when I went from like, oh, I'm going to start doing this on Monday, or I'm going to start, if it's Thursday and like, yo, man, let me get it in. Let me eat all this stuff. Now, man, if I get to the point where I go, okay, enough is enough, I'll start
the next day or that day.
That day.
That day.
I'll finish eating, the Mexican food or the burger or whatever it is. And I go, all right, that's it.
Right.
I'm starting now at 9:30 tonight. Mm-hmm. So from here on, when I wake up in the morning, it's, I'm not, you just make whatever change. And I know everybody is different and you need to develop these habits, but try to surround yourself with people who do have discipline, who are, you know what I mean? We all have those people in our lives. Sometimes we don't want to hang around with them because they're a mirror and we rather not see it. But if you're struggling with something, like everybody has struggled, even people who are in great shape, everybody struggles with something. That's why I don't judge people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you alluded to a person where somebody goes, hey man, you do this. I'm like, well, yeah, but this is your thing. Like we all have something that we struggle with. I've struggled with food. Not to the point where it's gotten out of hand and my health has been, but I sometimes when I'm putting on weight, or something, then you kind of know like, oh, okay, I just need to cut this out. But everybody doesn't have that luxury. So get help. Talk to people who are in shape or, who know trainers. Everyone knows somebody who works out. Like it's about having some type of support group or a person or somebody you can,
You know who I feel I feel for our people only because I mean I like some sweets here and there.
Yeah.
I don't have a sweet tooth. I've always had a little more of a salt tooth, but I feel for the people who have a like they just absolutely they love and they're sort of addicted to sweets. That's so tough, man, because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
You walk in and there's a gas station has, cupcakes and candy and oh my God, dude,
we've talked
sugar,
about this before.
Sugar, man.
We live in a world where, bad food, is cheaper than gas.
Yeah.
So, like literally sometimes, I have the running joke, like, man, they're really trying to kill us. You can go to McDonald's or go to some fast food joint and get stuff that is unhealthy, but you can afford it. There's always the adage like, oh, healthy food is more expensive and this and that. So people use that as an excuse, but there are places where you can get stuff cheaper. And think about sometimes eating out. One thing my accountant has gotten on me about, she's like, do you realize, especially during that time, do you realize how much money you spend on eating out? But then you complain about going to Whole Foods. Where if you think, well, if I go to Whole Foods and or wherever, Ralph's or wherever you go, that same amount that you spent for one meal can last you a week or 2 weeks. You go to Trader Joe's, man. You can spend $50 and be good for 2 weeks. Depending on your eating habits or whatever. So it's just kind of like reconditioning your mind and not buying into the narrative like, man, I'm too broke to eat healthy. And that's what some people literally think, they're too broke to eat healthy. And it's just, we gotta really be conscious of it because it gets harder as time goes on, to really.
And look at the, especially the burger commercials. And it's the bigger, the better, the more stuff, onion rings on there, jalapenos, the whole, they're just driving people.
How about the pizza commercials when they pull the slice and the cheese?
All that cheese.
And you're like, oh man.
Really?
And then you gotta, but here's the thing, what happens a lot of times, and this is what we don't want, the point we don't want, the listeners to get to is when the doctor tells you you need to stop. Because that's a wake-up call when the doctor goes, hey, if you keep doing this, you're going to die. You're not going to live long. Yeah. So you need to make better choices. I've had friends who've had, who've gone through amputations before and still struggled with food.
Even after.
Oh, the doctor goes, hey, man, if you keep doing this, this is going to happen. And they can't help themselves. And it's an addiction. So there has to be a switch in society where we kind of have more compassion for people who struggle with food. And we see commercials for Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous and Go Heal. But there's not really a lot of commercials to help people with food
issues. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't see that. It's not prevalent. We still, there's this judgment that goes along. Hey man, just stop eating, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's
not being a pig, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you fucking eat so much? Come on,
Right.
And then a lot of that starts young too.
Yeah. Of course.
With how your parents
man, I have to admit,
you.
dude, this is no dig on people, and some people do have a gene where they're just naturally
absolutely.
thicker or whatever, but
thyroid issues,
exactly.
all kind of type of issues.
But I just noticed with kids, whenever I'm with B and we go to parks and whatever, boy, there's a consistency with children looking, because a lot of fast food.
Well, here's childhood obesity is literally an epidemic in this country.
Correct.
Now. Yeah. That's why they're trying to get into the schools to give these kids healthier choices and snacks. Remember what we used to eat at school? Sloppy Joes.
The meatloaf, potatoes.
One of my favorite things that I used to eat, man.
Oh my God.
Is we used to get, I want to say it was just a bean burrito from the cafeteria, and we used to get tater tots.
Yeah, but wait, was that bean burrito deep fried?
No.
It wasn't the deep fried one.
Deep fried. It was the bean burrito. They'll be hot. We'd open them up, put the tater tots inside the burrito, put that hot sauce on it, fold it back up, man. Oh, it used to be so good, dude.
Damn.
Used to be so good. But again, me and you talk about this. How active were we during that time? With
well, that was
sports?
I was
You know?
just gonna say to you when you said, they're trying to have that, and I'm thinking to myself, are the kids running around the way they used to?
think they are,
I don't
man.
think they are, dude, because they've got little games now that they play and in their hands. And I don't think they're. We would come in drenched, sweaty,
constantly outside, man,
and constantly outside. Oh, I see what you mean. Even outside of school too.
Oh, absolutely,
dude. Riding bikes, skateboarding. I mean,
you drive through, dude. Me and my boy are talking about this, man. I remember growing up, people had to hate driving through my neighborhood because every block, kids were always in the street.
Yeah.
And your parents, one thing your parents would always tell you, like, "Hey, mom, I'm going outside. Hey, be careful in the streets down there," because that's where we played.
Yeah,
we rode our bikes. We played football, baseball.
Yeah,
everything was in the street. And then it's like, time out. What? Car coming. Then let
car
the car go back. And then you go back and
remember how frustrated we would get.
Yeah. Oh,
another car.
Yeah. I know. Another car. Come on, man.
They're just going down the street.
Yeah, I'm going home, motherfucker. Get out the street. But now you drive down neighborhoods and there's nobody in the street.
No.
There's Johnny.
No, there's nobody.
I can't remember the last time I've driven through a neighborhood. I'm really thinking about this now, like even having this conversation. I can't remember the last time I've driven in a residential area.
This ain't no residential district.
That's my favorite line. This ain't no residential district. That was the wino talking.
That was
to
a
Dracula,
wino.
Right?
That was
Hey, this ain't
no. It was wino meets
the alien,
the druggie,
the drug.
The wino meets.
We're talking about Richard Pryor, by the way.
Remember he was on. The wino meets the junkie.
Was it the junkie?
Yeah, because he's on the street and he's telling you, "Let me tell you something, boy." And then the car goes by and he goes, "Slow down, boy. This ain't no residential district."
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
but you just don't.
But let me tell you what's funny about that.
Yeah.
So when B was staying, she was out here, and then we were over at Torrance, and she had that friend that also had a scooter. I remember I pulled up, and then I saw her, and I saw them cross over from the sidewalk into the street, and I about lost my mind, dude. I was like, stay out of the street. Nowadays, it's stay off the street because people drive too fast. They're distracted. It's totally, you don't want your kids in the street nowadays, dude. It's a whole, I'm in a complete panic when she's riding her, and she's 8 years old, by the way.
Yeah,
so,
and I think we're conditioned. Like I told this story, not to bring him, I remember seeing one of my friends get killed by a car. We were racing big wheels. He had a green machine.
It's just had this conversation the other day.
Yeah, couldn't afford the green machine.
I didn't have that either.
And we were racing, and we're on the sidewalk, and he gets off the sidewalk, we're turned in a corner. He gets off the sidewalk to get it, to turn the corner as I'm turning the corner on the sidewalk, and a car comes and just hits him and drags him. And that was the first time I really experienced death like that.
Was he alive for a while?
No, he was gone. I just remember I'll never.
So you guys were around 8 then? If you're on a big wheel, 7, 8?
7, 8 years old.
Yeah, wow.
And I remember kind of being in shock. I remember the person driving, I remember bits and pieces. I'm sure I blocked a lot of it out, but I just remember the car stopping, the person going into hysteria, and kind of everybody coming out of their homes, and just the shock. And I remember going to his house to play the next day, seeing if he was it didn't.
Oh yeah,
register,
of course.
Didn't register that I was never gonna see him again.
My God, the poor parents.
Yeah, man.
Poor him too, of course. But geez, that can't.
Yeah, but anyway, now we're talking about, well, you should be playing in the street. But we were always in the street playing, so we always get.
So wait, did he go? I'm sorry, did he go off the sidewalk into the street?
Off the sidewalk and into the street, because we were right.
Okay,
if you're going down a residential area, if you're on the sidewalk, there's driveways.
Yes.
So I'm in the lead. He cuts off the driveway into the street.
Oh, got it.
We turn the corner. And when he turns the corner, he did a wide turn.
Yeah, and so he's still in the street at that point.
Yes, he's still in the street.
Still in the street.
Yeah, he didn't get back on the sidewalk.
Gotcha.
He stayed in
That's
the street.
what I thought you meant, but I wanted. Okay,
and I was on the sidewalk. But again, we were always out, always playing, always at the park, always doing things. And I know it's a different time now. Kids don't even walk to school anymore like they used to. And it's a different time. And I think you take all these things, the food, the lack of exercise, all these things lead to being overweight.
Yeah. It's funny. I just had the conversation with Darren Carter, Whisper Out Darren Carter. And he said he wanted a green machine. And I said, I had the big wheel.
You guys are just randomly talking about this?
We were talking about this yesterday.
Hilarious.
And he's like, oh, I really wanted the green machine. And I said, you know what? I rode a couple of those, and I didn't like the levers. I didn't like the pulling back and forth. They were just fancy. I had the big wheel that had just come out with the brake, which helps you spin more. Yeah. But anyway, and I was talking to my mom not long ago. It might have been just when I was out there for the family reunion, and I was telling her, I was like, gee, Mom, we would be on our bikes. Now we're probably already now 10, 11, 12. And we would just be gone for the day, on a Saturday or Sunday.
Absolutely.
And miles away, miles. I go, didn't you, especially my mom, as much of a worry wart. I go, you weren't worried? Like, she goes, well, you guys were always in packs. There was always 3, 4, 5, 6 of us riding in bikes together. We stayed together. We didn't separate. And I was like, man, we were gone all day, dude, riding across town. It's just crazy to me that you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even, you really don't want them being gone all day.
But what's the difference? Like, my friend goes,
I feel like there's way more predators now, dude.
My friend said the same thing, but dude, there were always predators. I think we're just more aware of it. It's not like in 2003, people's like, oh, I'm gonna start fucking kids. Like, they've always been a part
I
of
think
our society.
There's more per capita now, is what I'm saying. I just think we're
more aware of it because of news and social media and everything. It's like
they're more brazen. And by the way,
people getting shot by cops, black people being harassed by police. That shit has been going on forever. But it's a big deal now is because we have our phones.
Yeah.
Everything is readily
available. They're even though with all this technology that somebody could easily, there's surveillance cameras, and it just seems like they're a little more, they're brazen with that, even if there's a few kids.
But think about it. Think about this though, to kind of push back on that.
Yeah.
Most of the serial killers, some of the most notorious serial killers in our history were from years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They got it. Well, because the forensics wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot has changed. But a lot has still just been the same, but we're just more conscious and aware.
Think about it like this. That's a good point.
If my father knew a lot of the things that were going on out there because of social media and all the different, news is 24 hours now. Yeah. News wasn't always 24 hours. Remember your TV used to go off motherfucker.
The whole thing. They play
TV
the national anthem.
Off until tomorrow.
What was that? 1 a.m., 2 a.m.,
I can't remember the time.
They play the national anthem.
Yeah, they'll play the national anthem. And there was a time where they played the national anthem and the TV was off.
Yeah. I was always so depressed when that happened.
You know what I mean? It's like, man.
It's over.
Especially on those nights where you were allowed to stay up late. And it's like,
that's what I'm talking about.
Man,
yeah, those Friday and Saturday nights.
Yeah, there was a time.
You know what's interesting is you would think that the parents would feel better nowadays because you can actually give your child a cell phone to call if something goes wrong. Or
we had no cell phones.
We had nothing, man.
You had to find a payphone. And then you had to have change.
You could hit operator. But
how about this? Even if you did call home, you had to hope somebody was home.
Or if they were on the other line and you got a busy signal,
dude,
and you couldn't get through. Then you have to now you can't do an emergency breakthrough without 50 cents. By the way,
so technically, it is probably safer out.
Oh, wait, they would charge the house. That's what they would do. They would charge the person.
But technically, it probably is safer out. Like you said, you have a cell phone. If somebody...
And surveillance stuff.
If something is happening, a kid could go and call, and call their parents.
We're just way more protective now, man.
Absolutely, because it's in our face. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like if somebody's constantly telling you, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to be like, oh shit, I better not do. But back then, there was so much left to the imagination, and we found out things in a different way.
In a different way.
But now everything is instantaneous. So we know where danger is at all times. Our parents didn't have that luxury, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, you commit a crime nowadays, chances are there's a camera somewhere that's picking it up.
Yeah.
Where they can go, like how many movies or television shows when they're looking, that movie 21 Bridges, you know, when about the cop killers. I don't want to ruin it if you haven't seen the movie. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Okay.
But it's like, yeah, literally, you know, they're on the phone. Yeah, can you pull up camera on the you know, intersection of blah, 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 blah. Or, you know, let's get surveillance of all the toll road. They have facial recognition and all these things.
Yeah.
Oh, got him. He passed through the turnpike at blah, 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 blah. This is the car he was in. This is his license plate number. These are all these things. It's like, wow, technology has, in one sense, made it more safe.
Yeah.
You know, to really, you know, be
and
able
what's
to.
weird is to think that even with all that, criminals, their need to harm people or kill them or rape them is so strong. They know that more than likely they're going to be seen somewhere. They're going to get caught.
Yeah.
And they still can't
Help themselves.
They can't help themselves.
It's an addiction.
It's an addiction. Yeah.
You know, where they talk about a lot of pedophiles. Like literally, they will say they can't help themselves. You know, so I just think when it comes to the holiday season and food and everything, and people who are struggling, you know, we're just doing this, you know, this episode to just have people be more aware and know that you're not alone. Because I think a lot of times when you're dealing with something, there's a lot of guilt that accompanies that. You know, where you just feel like, oh man, you know, or sometimes you feel like you're the only one, you know, like, you know, there's people who, you know, they're saying, oh man, I don't even eat that much. But, you know, if you know, looked under their bed, there's bags of chips. There's like a fun pack underneath their bed, or some, you know, M&Ms or whatever. And not saying that you can't eat those things, but if you're struggling with food, like they said, the first thing of getting help is admitting that you have a problem.
Yeah.
And there's some people who absolutely 100% have a problem with food, and you're not alone.
Oh, no.
You're not alone.
Not at all. Not at all.
So during the holiday season, if you know you struggle, I mean, I just think there's, like, shame keeps people in a dark place, man. Like,
right.
You know, because you kind of feel like, oh man, I don't want to admit this. But, you know, by being open and letting people know, like, hey man, like, I have a hard time with this. Or when people tell you, like, I admire people go, I can't drink.
Yeah.
You go, really? Like, I love the taste of alcohol, but when I drink, this happens. I've destroyed these relationships in my life.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm an addict. I'm an alcoholic, and I'll always be an alcoholic. I can't do it.
Can't touch it.
And there's an admiration in that when somebody goes, man, and they're not ashamed to say that. Like, they've gotten rid of the shame. You know, like sometimes I remember I did a potato chip test one time, like before, like, you know, they say you can't just eat one chip, then you eat a chip, and dude, your fucking taste buds are going nuts. And then you're like, some time just goes by. Let me just get one more. You know, and then you eat another. Next thing you know, fuck it. I'll work out tomorrow.
Monday.
Exactly. And then you start killing the bags, or even peanut M&Ms. I love peanut M&Ms, dude.
Man.
Love peanut M&Ms.
Oh man.
So you start eating them, and all of a sudden, then it's like, okay. Then you kind of know I don't have the discipline. Now, dude, I'm proud of myself. I can literally eat one chip. I could eat one French fry. I don't.
What?
I don't do it just because I don't want to test myself that way anymore.
But you've been able to do it.
I've been able to do it. Like sometimes, like you go, you know, let me just try one. And then you try one, you go, oh, I'm good. I'm good. And even some of my boys are like, dude, are you serious? You get another one, man. You could afford it. Like, yeah, I know, but I don't even want to go down that slippery slope, man. Because if I finish that, I'm gonna want another one. Like, I know myself so well. I know
feel
my
like
eating
one
habit.
is
Torture.
torture.
Yeah.
Where I would probably go, you know what? Just jump some in my hand. This is it. And
Yeah,
now
that
there's
is
seven
the
or
way.
eight.
That is the way to do it.
And then
that's
I
how
can-
I usually do it. To be honest with
okay.
you. Yeah, that's how I usually do it.
Or,
but I was
or
just testing
somebody,
myself.
somebody with M&Ms.
Yeah.
I go, all right, just have, all right, now get them
Just
away
give me like
from,
5 of them.
Give me 5 of them. All right, now get them away from me
Yeah.
because I'm going to be coming back or
Yeah.
whatever.
And boredom sometimes causes you to eat. How many times have you been bored and you've been like, and you just look
You
at
just go to the fridge and start, or
like,
the
dude, I'm not
cupboards.
even hungry and I'm eating.
I know.
How many times have you eaten and you're not even hungry?
Really hungry, you know.
Like that's fucking crazy.
You know what? The one thing that is for me are nuts, dude. And now even because
nuts are actually good for you.
I know, but they're also supposed to be like at a handful at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're fattening.
Yeah, and then it depends on what else you're eating besides the nuts. You can't be eating a bunch of nuts and then you wash it down with
a soda.
Soda or some pizza.
But
or some bad food.
I'll open a bag of almonds or cashews or and it's over. I eat the whole bag of whatever it is.
And
seeds. Oh my God, I used to eat sunflower seeds all the time.
And the weight loss industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry in this country. And we've been taught a lot of bad things about food, a lot of things that aren't true. I won't go into it because I don't want to confuse people about it. But my whole life, butter is bad. Don't touch butter.
Right.
Butter's horrible for you. This is horrible for you. That is horrible for you. One thing I got into my head, because you always try different things to lose weight. And I remember thinking rice is horrible for you. And people go, man, rice is bad for you. Man, bread
because of the carbs and stuff. Yeah.
Bread is bad for you. But there's people in third world countries that all they're eating is rice and they're not gaining a pound.
Rice and bread.
Yeah. What rice? That's all they're eating.
They're working a lot.
They're working a lot, or that's all they can. Yeah. They're eating. They're not eating bread. A bunch of bread with chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not eating bread with
spaghetti and meatballs,
a pastrami sandwich. You know what I mean?
Or on a pastrami sandwich,
or a sloppy Joe, or all these other things. So it's like it's everything. It depends. It's combinations of food and how you eat them.
Oh my God!
The
bread's killing me right now. You know what I do every now and then?
I'm good with the bread, man. Bread doesn't. I'm good with.
I'm good. I don't have sandwiches anymore, but every now and then, dude, I'll be at a grocery store and I'll see a baguette.
Really?
Yeah, just a big long baguette by itself, whether it's regular loaf or sourdough.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, man. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. And I'll take it home and I'll eat the whole thing. And I tear off a piece and I put olive oil and a little bit of butter and I just eat that baguette, dude. That's
really?
that's like a binge. That's one thing that I'll be like, wow. I've been missing bread so long. I'm doing it. I'm just gonna do the baguette.
Yeah, bread has never been my thing. I'm trying to think, what are my food vices? I mean, I love food in general, but I'm a repetitive eater. Meaning I can eat the same meal like 5 days in a row, no problem. People think that's weird.
Yeah,
I can literally
remember you telling me about that.
The same thing every day. And that's has helped me a lot in being able to lose weight. You know what I mean? Because I can just lock in and go, okay, I'm just having
salmon for 5 days.
Yeah, or I'll just eat, whatever the meal is.
I'm pretty consistent with what I
can
eat.
do that. I can do rice and vegetables, or brown rice and vegetables, or quinoa and vegetable, or whatever. But we're kind of taught that so many things are bad for you, so sometimes you don't know what to do. And I think you got to know your body type.
Yeah. Where it goes.
But things that I love, like I love chocolate chip cookies and oatmeal raisin cookies.
I'm with you on the oatmeal cookies without the raisins, though. I don't need the raisins, though.
Oh, man, I'm
not big on chocolate chip cookies, man.
Really? But I'm not a big sweets person. Like I'm not somebody who has to have a dessert. I'm not somebody who has to have something sweet every week.
Oh yeah, I literally never have dessert when I have a meal.
As much as I love M&Ms, I go through phases where,
Well, you're leaving a Rite Aid or something, and you see that if they're on sale, that's when they'll get me sometimes. When they have a sale for like two for one or whatever, then I'll go, I'll get 2 packets of M&Ms.
Yeah.
But that sweet, like you said, that sweet thing. I wanted to ask you about the cookies. Now, do you like your cookies crisp, hard or soft?
Both.
Oh.
Both.
Okay.
I'm not one person that goes, I tend to like my cookies soft.
I'm more of a soft cookie person.
Where you can bend them and break them.
Man,
there's some hard cookies that are delicious too. One thing about
okay, your favorite cookie. I just remember what my favorite cookie is.
What is it?
the pink and white circus cookies with the sprinkles on.
Oh, those are disgusting.
Fantastic.
Are you kidding me?
I can eat a whole bag in one sitting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those circus cookies?
The circus
that
cookies.
are covered with all the icing?
With the icing and the sprinkles. Yes.
That's too much, man.
That's my number one cookie.
Really?
I go that route with it. If I'm gonna go bad, I'm taking these.
Wow.
If I'm gonna be kind of good, I get the oatmeal cookies because those are a little bit still.
You know what'd be cool? As annoying as you are to me, if we were roommates, we wouldn't have problems fighting over food. You'd put some shit in there, and we probably wouldn't touch each other's food.
No, the only thing would be I make a lot of I eat a lot of broccoli, mushrooms, and onions.
I love those three.
I'd stir fry that together a lot during the week.
We talked about that before. Yeah.
So that you'd be picking up my leftovers on that, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But you don't like those circus cookies? It's too much. Dude, it's too icy.
Sweet. Here's the thing. I love sweets in moderation. Like I'll go through phases. Like I love chocolate cake. Love it.
Oh, see, I don't like chocolate cake.
Love chocolate cake. Love
like
cookies and stuff like that. But I can go months without it. Like it's not like, man, I can go months without doing it. I think the thing that gets me, ironically, is my vice, and maybe because it's cheap and it's easily accessible. Bean burritos, man. Bean and cheese burritos are a vice for me.
I mean, even
I don't know where it came from. I love Mexican food.
And
Russell's not a big fan of Mexican food, by the way, which I found interesting.
Oh wow, I don't know too many people who are.
He's like, We talked about that the other day. He's like, Mexican food. I'm like, Some people love Italian or burgers and fries and stuff like that. Man, a bean and cheese burrito, man.
Well, we always talk about, and even when it's, let me tell you, even when it's not like from a Mexican place, I still, anytime I swing through Taco Bell, I get 2 bean and cheese burritos.
Here's interesting. I'm so bougie when it comes to my bean and cheese burrito. If I do go to like a fast food place, which I don't very often, I'm tacos.
Yeah, right. Like at Del Taco, you're gonna get tacos. You're not gonna get their burritos.
I'm not gonna get their burrito. But if I go to like Paquito Mas or Cactus or any other place that, if you hit me, is like, yo, like John who will call me is like, yo, you know who got a good bean and cheese burrito? I'm on it because I'm gonna try it if he tells me, because that's
and I just had one. I ended up trying because I the time before I had rice in there. So this time I got their bean and cheese by itself with jack cheese. It's the Gavilan. It's good.
Oh yeah. I think I did try that.
Did you try
there
one?
when you told me to go there?
Okay.
Another thing that I like, very simple. I know people. It's quesadillas.
Yeah.
I like a simple quesadilla, and you could almost fool yourself into thinking it's healthy.
I know.
Like, oh man.
Well, wait a minute though. Have you ever tried them with corn tortilla?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how I would make, if I made quesadillas at home, I'd do them with corn tortillas.
Yeah.
It's just corn tortillas are better.
Just a little healthier.
Yeah.
But now, I
wonder why places don't.
I know you have. You know
give
what
you that option.
You know what I
mean?
found out? Some places, restaurants, if you ask them, they'll do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you're ordering a quesadilla, you ask them, "Can you make this with the corn tortilla instead?"
You know why? Probably because maybe you know this better than me. Corn tortillas always tend to be smaller. Flour is usually bigger.
But still, I still think corn is way less. The corn tortillas have less.
No, I'm just saying if you ordered it, I'm talking about the size of them.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, they'd be much smaller too.
Much smaller. Now let me ask you this though: Is your quesadilla? Is it just cheese, or are you the one of those people that's got to have chicken in there?
No, I prefer just cheese.
Just because that's how a lot of us.
I don't eat a lot of meat, and I try.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot of meat.
Yeah. But
very little. You
don't even do chicken that much anymore.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth from vegan to vegetarian,
right,
to pescatarian.
Pescatarian.
Yeah, where you're just eating fish.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I do less and less dairy. I do almost. It just depends.
Oh,
I'll do it on
a.
With cheese. So I'll like there was a time where I would, like bean and cheese, quesadillas, all this other stuff. So there's times where I'll go weeks without consuming any cheese whatsoever because I know that's not good for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know cheese isn't good
That's
for
so
me.
funny. I almost they had a sale on sharp cheddar yesterday. I was leaving Ralph's and I go, I grabbed it and I had it in my basket. And then, because the small, it was a better deal to get the 16 ounce than the 8 ounce.
Okay.
But then I stopped and I go, I'm going to eat too much. So I put it back. Right.
Good for you.
Now, let me ask you, your quesadillas.
Yes.
Do you stick also with the jack cheese or do you go with cheddar?
I do mostly. I do both. I do, but you know what I've been doing? Well, I haven't done it in a while, but when I was making them, I would get the pre-packed mixed
Mexican flavored one. Yeah.
Yeah, just the mixed cheese, and then you just put in there. So you got jack, cheddar, whatever the cheeses are.
You got everything in there.
Yeah.
It's funny because when we were growing, when I go to like a Chipotle and these other places, and they always throw the cheese on that's shredded already, and then they make the quesadilla.
Yeah.
It's always kind of weird to me because we cut our slices and then put them on the tortilla, and then
here's my number one vice. It just hit me. Even
quesadilla,
even above bean and cheese burrito, even above quesadilla. To me,
lasagna.
No.
Oh.
I haven't had lasagna in a long time, man.
Me neither.
Grilled cheese, man. Oh. Man, I love a
by
grilled,
itself or with a tomato or something.
No, just by itself.
Yeah,
man.
I'm the same way.
I love a grilled cheese sandwich.
And do you put a little bit of butter on the bread, on the outside of the bread? Absolutely.
Yeah. There's nothing like a good grilled cheese sandwich. A lot of people don't know this. In-N-Out Burger has a great grilled cheese sandwich because I don't eat red meat. So during those times where I will have cheese, man, I'd go to In-N-Out and get a grilled cheese sandwich. It's not on the menu. Oh. Yeah, but In-N-Out has this whole secret menu.
They got secret menus. Yeah, I've seen them.
Like you can get 4x4s and all kind of crap on there. Animal fries, which is not on the menu. But their grilled cheese, man, is so damn good.
Is it a smaller kind of is it on just two slices of bread?
It's literally their burger without the meat.
Oh, they use their buns.
They use the buns. They use
that's interesting.
The sauce, the lettuce, the tomato.
Oh, everything's in there.
Everything is in there, but they put extra cheese. It is fantastic. And the bread is toasted.
What?
Yeah. So, and even when you bite into it, when the bread has a little crunch.
The crunch. Yeah, I make mine with the crunch.
Man.
Oh. Because, I make mine just a little bit. And sometimes they're even slightly burnt. So I'm fine with that.
So just full transparency. So when
hey, we were earlier telling people be careful what they eat.
Yeah, we're telling everybody to be careful what they eat. But here's sometimes it's like good to like get it out there and you know what your problems is. So I'm kind of circling back around.
Yeah.
When I decided to lose the weight, there's things where they'll give you like write down what you eat on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that when you're trying to lose weight, if they'll have you literally write down what's your Johnny, what do you eat Monday through Friday? Like kind of go through or keep track of what you eat every day. Mm-hmm. And then when I remember looking and, knowing my weight, because I was over 225 at one point.
Yeah.
And I remember, and people are like, you're that weight that much? Well, I carry weight well. But I remember looking at what I eat and I was like, damn, I eat a lot of bean and cheese burritos. I eat a lot of grilled cheese. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, so if I cut all this shit out, then I'll lose the weight. Yeah. Of course, other things also, but pretty much if you really are conscious about what you're eating, it's very easy to see what put the weight down.
That's actually a really good idea for people to do right now.
Yeah, just write down
for
what
the
you
next
eat.
couple of weeks, and then 3 weeks, and then when the new year comes along, your game plan is going to be way easier.
Absolutely.
Because you're like, whoa, I am eating pasta all the time.
Yeah. When you kind of look through, because, they say everything, even with goals or anything, write it down.
Write it down.
There's something about using a pencil or a pen and actually physically
and also
seeing it written down, and you go, whoa. This is my diet? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Because you might have some vegetables and, have one healthy meal and you think, man, I eat pretty healthy. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of look and go, yeah, I did have salmon and vegetables, but for lunch I had this. Yeah. I had this for a snack. And then you notice like 2 of your 3 meals were bullshit. You know what I mean?
Before I went on that diet, for me was I didn't realize, I always had chips around, man. Always had cheese puffs, regular potato chips, and then I'd get the Mexican chips, the what do you call them? Like not like
Tortilla chips.
like tortilla chips
With salsa.
Yeah, and then I'd get salsa. So I always had those around.
Yeah.
And
by the way, what's sneaky about chips, especially like tortilla chips and salsa, it doesn't seem unhealthy.
I know.
Doesn't it? It doesn't really seem unhealthy. It's like, hey, this is just chips and there's a bunch of tomatoes and onions.
Tomato sauce and onions and
it's horrible. It's bad for you,
right.
man. You know?
Now the pico de gallo is a little bit better because it doesn't have really any sugar. So you're that's not as bad.
And real guacamole is good for you too.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a good fat.
It's a good fat.
But,
Absolutely.
But man, same thing, when I started to cut all those things out and just going by the chips aisle and just like going by it and not stopping it, that was killing me a lot too, man.
When you get rid of that stuff out of your house, it makes it so much easier. I remember having a friend who was addicted to popcorn. Like I like popcorn, but I went
through a popcorn phase.
I've never been through a real popcorn phase. I mean, Garrett's popcorn, the caramel, all that stuff.
Oh, you
the
like
cheese
the
popcorn,
flavored and all that.
Yeah, but again, it's not something that I always have accessible to me. Yeah. And I think the key for me is not having things inside your house helps a lot.
I know.
When you're trying to lose weight and then you're like on the couch and you glance up and see the bag of Doritos on the top of your fridge, you're like,
dude, nacho cheese Doritos.
I know, dude. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you know, for a while there, I was making my own pop. I would buy the organic kernels
and pop it yourself
and pop it myself.
Yeah.
So there was no sodium. I would just put just some seasonings and stuff like cayenne pepper on it because I like it spicy. I mean, that's really it. I wasn't putting butter on it. I wasn't,
one of my favorite things.
But it's still carby, right? Popcorn is carby.
Yeah, it's not good. Popcorn is one of those things that seem harmless.
Because it's so light. What about air pop? When people go, I do air popped.
You know what? To be honest with you, I can't really answer that because I don't really know, but it's supposedly better for you.
And I'm going to be finding out about air fry come this weekend, everybody.
But I'm
going to be air frying some fries. I'm going to be air frying some wings. I'll be back next week to let you know about
There's always ways to eat healthy. And then I think people, even vegans, get caught up into, because there's tons of vegan junk food. And a lot of the vegan food that's accessible to you a lot of times is not good for you.
Right.
Calorie-wise. Now, you're not eating, quote unquote animal products.
Yeah, right.
But it's still not healthy. Like, man, what'd you have today? Man, I had some vegan nachos, I had a vegan burger and some fries. It's like, you just had like 2,500 calories. And I remember Al Del Benny. Shout out Al Del Benny. You remember Al Del Benny?
Yes.
I remember Al Del Benny, who lives in Australia now. Shout out Al Del Benny.
From Boston. From Boston to Australia.
Yeah. Used to tour with Dane
a lot, yeah.
And I remember he lost a lot of weight. This is years ago. And because, you're always trying to figure out what you can do to lose weight. And I want to say he went vegan at the time. And I remember when I first went vegan, I put on a lot of weight. And he was like, oh, dude, same thing happened to me because when you cut out meat, you just pile up on carbs. Like that's your first, I remember when I cut out meat, dude, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go vegan. Rice and beans, dude. Mm-hmm. That was my go-to. Rice, beans, some hot sauce. I'm Haitian. I grew up eating rice. I'm like, this is my thing. It's like, damn, man, I got love handles and shit. Like, what am I, you know what I mean?
Yeah, rice is something I had to cut out.
Yeah.
I was eating too much of it,
Yeah, so it's, you just got to be conscious of what you're putting into your body. And just because something is vegan doesn't mean that it's healthy. And I just think during the holiday season, I mean, we'll close on this. I think during the holiday season, just be conscious. And if you feel like you have a problem eating, just know there's no shame in it. You're not alone. I think we need to talk more about it. There's no pressure. Well, it is probably some pressure for people during the holidays to eat, but I don't know. Just
and remember, Mexicans, you can also cut the tamale in half. You can shave off the top layer, and then you eat the meat and only the bottom. I did that at my mom and dad's the last time I was there. I don't know why they had them. They had some, and then my dad goes, "Hey, what are these?" And it was the top. I cut it off and I had them on a separate plate. My dad goes, "Gee, give me those."
Remember Rudy Moreno used to bring those tamales from that one spot. He used to kind of give them away.
Yeah.
What was funny is he used to give them away to like all his like white industry people because they like he'd get them from the hood.
Yeah.
And I remember Rudy gave me.
East LA, dude.
Yeah,
He
I
gets
remember.
those from.
I don't know what place he got it from, but it was a
should
popular
ask him.
spot.
Yeah.
Popular spot Rudy used to see. But I remember Rudy brought me a bag of tamales. I think they were chicken tamales
Oh wow, chicken
at the time. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I don't eat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You won't do pork
I
though,
won't do-
because that's white. That's the other white meat.
Yeah, I don't eat pork.
Oh okay.
Man, I haven't ate pork since high school, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I just remember him bringing tamales, and I remember going, "Damn, man, delicious."
And I'm gonna be as soon as we'll have those. I'll get up there. I think on Christmas Day is probably the plan. That my parents and they're gonna be sitting in the fridge, dude. When I get there.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if you do this or not. Let me tell you what great way to eat. Do you eat them with refried beans?
No.
Yeah. Try them with refried beans.
Oh, I'm sure. I trust you. I'm sure it's delicious.
The Mexicans out there know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You get the refried beans, you get the tamale, and you just scoop them in together with hopefully homemade chile. Like I have my mom's homemade chile, dude.
This is the most Mexican.
Hey, man,
this is the most Mexican I've ever seen you in that moment right now. And that tamale refried bean moment, I actually believed you were really Mexican in that moment.
I'm gonna take a photo. I'm gonna take a little photo.
So
for you.
I mean, enjoy the holidays, enjoy your food
in moderation.
Just try to do it in moderation, and you don't have to eat everything. You know how it tastes already.
And remember, when you're starting to feel full, that's when you need. Don't
Just
wait
shut it
until your
down.
stomach hurts.
Shut it down.
Yeah, shut it
And
down.
if you like, I honestly wish I knew. Maybe if you're trust me, there's a lot of people who struggle with food. If you're having issues with food and you feel like you have a problem, I'm sure you can Google something.
I know. How come they don't have FA?
Yeah.
I mean, hi, my name's Steve, and I'm a foodaholic.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they do.
But here's the thing: it's not prevalent. It's not something that we all know. You know what I mean? And it needs to be more in the consciousness of everybody. We know about drug addiction. We know about alcoholism. But food addiction is something that's not really talked about. So take care of yourselves, and we will
see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Next week.
That's the best of everything. I am Ruben Paul, and you.
Johnny Sanchez.
You know this guy.
Says everything.
Yeah, says everything.
Says everything.
Very annoying. All right, we out.
Ruby motherfucking Tuesdays.
This show is all about diversity and bringing everyone together. You never know who you're going to see at Ruby Tuesdays.